All right, so you're welcome to this video. So um just like I said, what you are able to take in a trade, the trades you are able to take, you don't just want to have a fixed risk reward ratio. We have these contemplations: should we go for a 1 to 3, should we go for a 1 to 2? Now let's take this as an example. Now this is CAD JPY. All right, and this is the 15-minute time frame. So I want to take a trade, or I have taken a trade rather. Let's imagine we've taken a trade at this order block, which is right here. All right, so I took a trade at the order block right there, and then here's my long position right here. My stop loss is right there, and then I want to target the high. Now if you tap this, you would notice something. My risk reward ratio in this instant, look at the risk reward ratio right there, is 3.14, which is the high of this market. Now this is the 15-minute time frame. My stop loss is 11 pips, as you can see. My target is 34 pips. Now whether I should make use of a 1 to 2, so this is a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2, which seems quite easy to reach, right? Or you can make use of a 1 to 3. Now there are things you have to consider. If I'm taking a trade right there because I saw an order block right here, someone else will be looking forward to taking a trade right here, which is also valid for a sell. So while you are looking forward to getting a target somewhere around here, somebody is looking forward to selling around here. All right, so someone is looking forward to selling around here. Now you have to have a flexible mindset. All right, what happens when the market gets to this point? That is what determines whether or not you should be able to hold on to the trade or excuse yourself out of that trade. All right, so if you choose a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, someone who chose a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio will most likely hit their target, and you may not hit your target. Now this is another block where the market can start making push to the downside, or we have yet another order block where this market can also push down to the downside. So if someone wants to take a trade right here, you can put your stop loss above there, and then maybe a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2 for CAD JPY. Now, so you see that whether or not your risk reward ratio wants to be 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 is not just a fixed stuff. Now, the reason why people make use of fixed risk reward ratio is because of they want to, as much as possible, be mechanical. Like what I said before now, if you are trading, it is very good to be mechanical to a very good degree. All right, being mechanical, by being mechanical, I mean you want to have every one of your rules, you want all of your rules to be in place so that you don't give your own mind reasons to make so many decisions. Now the truth is this: the more decisions you make in trading, the less efficient the decisions get with time. So you want to, as much as possible, drastically reduce the amount of time you spend thinking about what decision you have to make. So having a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2 allows you to have a fixed mentality. When the market gets to 1 to 2, I take my trade. I'll pull out my money. Or if it gets to this particular area, I'm out of the trade. Or my target gets to this particular area, I pull out my profit. As simple as that. All right. So it does not subject you to the psychological stress that comes with making multiple decisions. So whether you're trading a risk reward ratio of 1 to 3 or you're trading a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2, it all depends on multiple factors. Are you okay being mechanical in trading? If you are, if you get stressed by many decision making, by trading, having to make many decisions in your trading day, then you want to try as much as possible to be mechanical. So this is why they say as much as you can, try to understand yourself. So don't use a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2 because you feel that everybody is making use of 1 to 2. What is your own reason for using a 1 to 2? All right. So we can have the market get to this point and start making a push to the downside. Okay. So, all right. So another thing you want to consider when choosing your risk to reward ratio is you want to figure out what direction is the market headed for. All right. So if you are trading in line with the trend, then the market can go in your favor considerably well. And so you want to try as much as possible to go for a lot larger target. Okay, so in this case, let's do a little bit of analysis so that I can explain to you. Now, I don't advise that you trade against the trend anyway, but let's imagine we are looking forward to taking a buy here, which I don't advise anyway, as I said before now, because if you look at this market, let me get this out. If you look at this market right here, you would notice that we have such a very strong downtrend. And so looking forward for an opportunity to buy somewhere around here is not exactly sensible, in my opinion. All right. So we see a very strong push to the downside. And the reason why this is so is because we have taken out a high somewhere here. All right. We have taken out a high, which is of course liquidity. But liquidity is not just taken out anyhow. There's a reason why liquidity is taken out. Okay, where did that liquidity go into? So we can see a fair value gap right there with an order block resting exactly right there. So we took out liquidity inside the order block and then we are pushing downwards. Now this is not a strategy video. All right, so I'll be creating strategy videos um, with time, so do well to subscribe because I'm going to be creating content regarding strategy. But this is all about entry, your risk, and then your reward. Okay, let's imagine we are taking a trade right here. Short. Okay, so we had a push up there and then we saw this candle right there. So we want to take a trade right here. Our stop loss above here, and then we can go for a 1 to 3. Now the reason why I can go, let me delete this. The reason why I can go for a 1 to 3 on this trade is because we are trading in line with the overall trend. That's the confidence I have in holding this trade 1 to 3. Okay, if I have to buy, now let's imagine I have to buy here. Let's just imagine that the market comes to this point, takes out liquidity here. Remember, the market is all about taking out liquidity and coming to areas of liquidity, tapping areas of interest, which is fair value gaps or order blocks, and then moving in that direction. Okay, so let's imagine the market gets to this point and start going high. Now, I don't expect it to really go that high. Why? Because we are still in the downtrend. We're in the downtrend, so I'm not very much interested in looking for opportunities to buy. But if I see a very little opportunity to buy, I don't want to take it so seriously. So if I have to buy here, my entry will be somewhere around here, my stop loss will be below, and then I want to target something small. And in this case, my risk reward ratio would be somewhere around 1.5, which is not really sensible for me, in my opinion. So what I'll be looking forward for is something like this, push down here, and then I want to see the market go up and then continue downwards. All right, so in this case, this trade would have ended in profit. All right, in this case, this trade would have ended in profit, but the overall trend is downwards. So your risk reward ratio should be determined by the trend too. Very important. You want to take note of the trend to be sure that you are trading in line with the market at the point in time. All right. So that's for risk reward ratio. Maybe in the next video, I'm going to be telling you, showing you how you can take trades. A lot of people have difficulties on how to enter trades. Some people have psychological not psychological issues that require you going to the psychiatric hospital anyway, but psychological issues, from lack of capital to so many things that affect them in this trading industry. So we're going to be talking about that primarily. So in your quest to have a solid risk reward system, you want to pay very close attention to the trend. Is it trending in that direction? Then you can make use of a higher risk reward ratio. But if it's not trending in that direction, you want to use something a lot lesser, because the market may just have a little bit of pullback and then go against you so quickly. So you want to maximize the little moves of the market against the trade direction. Okay, now before we go, let me just talk about something slightly that I figured out that a lot of traders actually have issues with. So we have the 1 to 2 is fine, 1 to 3 is good, but the issue that many people have is when the market starts making these kinds of moves. All right, so the question is not about whether or not 1 to 3 is good or 1 to 4 is nice. Can you hold on to a trade that makes this kind of moves? It can be quite painful, because holding on to a trade that keeps on dancing around can be psychologically painful. Yeah, it really can be. So can you deal with the psychological um, pain that comes with holding on to a trade and the trade is just dwindling and dangling? So that's one thing you want to consider. Your emotional strength. How is your willpower? How is your level of carelessness? I'm not talking about laxity. I'm talking about your ability to care less about what the market does. Do you just follow your plan? How strong is that? If it's not strong enough, then maybe you can make use of a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2, because that's easy to come by. But if you can hold on to trades longer, then making use of a risk reward ratio of 1 to 3 can also come in handy. All right. So if you have not done well to subscribe, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.